You're not gonna get out of this city alive without my help.
Don't forget, I know what you did.
You have no idea what I did.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. Today we are talking about Havoc. This film is written and directed by Gareth Evans, who is infamously the director of the Raid films, The Raid and The Raid 2, which you could make the argument are the greatest action films of all time. They are outstanding. I love both of them dearly. Havoc is coming out on Netflix here this weekend. It stars Tom Hardy, Timothy Olyphant, Forrest Whitaker, who all do a fantastic job. It also has Luis Guzman, who I also was surprised to see and did a great job. I also want to shout out Justin Cornwell, who plays Forrest Whitaker's son in the film. I thought he did a great job as well. In this movie, Tom Hardy plays a cop who has to help rescue the son of a corrupt politician while uncovering a bunch of different corruption scandals, some even involving him, and just a seed of things along the way. As someone who is a big fan of Gareth Evans, particularly The Raid and The Raid 2, although I also really liked his film Apostle that he did for Netflix a few years back. I know it got some kind of mixed reactions from people, but I enjoyed that film. I had sky-high expectations for this movie, especially since he's diving back into the action genre and the crime genre. Havoc is a little bit of a hot mess. However, it's kind of a fun hot mess, and there are action sequences in this film, which should come to a surprise to no one, that are some of the best action sequences I've seen in a long time. Two in particular. There's one in a nightclub and one in the third act of the film at a house that are like jaw-droppingly great. It's Gareth Evans through and through, and the stunts are out of control. The choreography is amazing. The cinematography also, it does utilize shaky cam, but this is one of the examples where shaky cam is used as a stylistic choice where you can still clearly see all of the choreography, all of the editing. It's not used to hide poor editing, poor blocking, poor choreography. It's used to put the audience in that situation with the characters. It's utilized very well. And of course, with it being a Gareth Evans film, the violence itself is gloriously over the top. Overkill is underrated, as a lot of people like to say, and the overkill in the movie is glorious. You know, I can't speak highly enough about the action in the film. The story and the other elements of the film falter a little bit for me, and the film tries to do a lot. Part of this movie feels like it's trying to be a little bit like a darker, faster-paced Chinatown. Part of it feels like it's going to be like the uncut gems of action movies where something's just constantly causing you anxiety, constantly happening, constantly moving. And there are moments where both of those work in the film, but also moments where it doesn't. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that the movie makes is in the first act, when it's kind of setting up the story and establishing what's going on, you don't really spend a lot of time with the characters and let things sit. The first act of the movie in particular is paced very poorly, and I think there are some other pacing decisions in the movie where it moves almost too fast, which I know seems like a dumb complaint for an action movie, but I feel like the movie needed to be a little bit more lived in and you needed to sit in these moments a little bit more than you get to. The movie, like before credits, was about an hour and 32 minutes, and I think this is a movie that could have actually benefited from being a little bit longer. There's a lot going on and a lot happening in the movie, and while the movie does give you the information you need to know and it does explain it, I think it does it in a way that's not very intriguing to the audience, and part of that is, again, it felt like it had to just keep moving forward instead of giving you those moments. Now, in terms of motivation, like, you know, you understand where Tom Hardy's character is coming from, and you kind of are rooting for him in this journey, and, you know, there are other characters along the way. Some characters I didn't quite love, and there are some characters I thought were really interesting, but overall, it's just kind of a mixed bag in terms of how it was portrayed. One thing I do want to compliment the film on also, though, is the world. It feels like a very gross neo-noir. It almost felt like cyberpunk without the aesthetics of cyberpunk. It just felt like living in a world that's just gross. Like, kind of like when you watch the movie Seven, how when you watch it, just even how it's filmed, it just feels gross. Like, the movie felt like that, and it was very a clear, intentional choice for the story, and I think that choice worked really well. Something else that I was a bit conflicted on is kind of the more CGI elements of the film. It's one of those things where these sequences themselves are very well, you can tell they're very well storyboarded, they were prevised well, they have a very clear intent and vision for what they are, particularly a huge car chase scene in the beginning of the movie. However, it didn't look fantastic in terms of the actual animation, and granted, maybe there's a lot of action in the movie that's more practical than I'm giving it credit for, and if that's the case, hey, I will take that back. It just, the way that it seemed and the way it was shot just made it look like it just wasn't very well done CGI. Now, there are some practical car stunts in the film that I think are really excellent. Where the CG would kind of take me out of it was when it would kind of do a transition, or if it would cut to a wide during a sequence, like as the camera was pulling out, it would just kind of have a shift to CG that didn't feel very smooth. I think that's just something that I noticed watching the movie. And I did a bit of research into the movie, and I know that they shot it back in 2021, and there were several delays due to Gareth Evans just wanting to take his time in the edit. The writer and actor strikes had something to do with it, and then they eventually completed 2 weeks of reshoots. And, the movie doesn't seem all that troubled when you watch it, but it does seem a bit jumbled, and that's, maybe the vision for what the movie was got a little bit caught up in something else. But, overall, I have to say, while the movie does feel poorly paced, and it has moments that you wish were lived in a little bit more to give you a little bit more depth and wanting to feel for these characters, the world that it sets up is interesting, and the action is so good. Like it's not just like, oh, it's good. It's so good that I will find myself rewatching it just to get to those action sequences. Like whatever star rating you would give this movie, you can literally just add an extra one because the action is that good in it. Especially the nightclub sequence, guys. The nightclub action sequence is so fucking good in the movie. You're gonna love it when you see it. So while this doesn't live up to the same level as the Raid films do, it is nice to see Gareth Evans kind of back in the film world with this action crime genre, and I very much look forward to what he does next. And hey, if you wanted to make another horror film like you did with Apostle, I'm down for that too. Like I said, I really liked Apostle as well. But guys, I want to know, once you've seen Havoc, what did you think of it? I'd love to see your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next review.